Adverbs. I should be able to finish adverbs today. This board looks so funny. I'll tell you about that in a minute, what's going on. It's not your eyes, it's not the lighting. It's kind of funny in a way. But before I get on to the rest of adverbs, I can't resist the temptation, I guess, to slam some teachers who harp on a double negative. I was saying there are adverbs of negation, and if you say something, I cannot hardly hear you, that's regarded as substandard English. I agree, and teachers are right to point that out to students. But what bothers me is the logic that they've used when I was taught, and so many teachers teach this, is they say that's nonsensical. If you do not have nothing, well then you must have something, because you're making a negative negative, it's a positive. Well, that's just not the way languages work. In Portuguese, you say all the time, you say, eu não tenho nada, eu não tenho nada, I not have nothing. You could say, eu tenho nada, I have nothing. You could say that, but you never do. Não tenho nada. And why they do it, there's no confusion. It's emphasis. It makes it stronger. And I think about that song, I Can't Get No Satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction. What if he'd written it, I can't get any satisfaction? Anyway, I'll leave it. All right, and let's, so anyway, I know one other thing I was going to say about that. Shakespeare, in Much Ado About Nothing, I think Beatrice said to Hero, then stop his mouth and don't let him speak neither. And don't let him speak neither. Shakespeare, as I've pointed out before, was not a slave to the rules of language. He used language for what he wanted. All right, now let me explain about the board. You can probably hear the rain outside. It's warm and it's damp, and in the barn it's cold. And what's happened is this slate is so cold that the water is condensing on it, like on a window pane. And so I had to write on a wet chalkboard. But I'll just tell you what it says. 66-day first video. I'm finishing adverbs. I think I can do it in this video and then another quick one. All right, conjunctive adverbs. These are complex adverbs do more than just modify. And conjunctive adverbs, they join. And I already did show you about transitional adverbs. A, I'm breaking this down. Well, B is relative adverbs. What they do is they relate a clause back to another clause. I'll tell you about that later. Anyway, they subordinate is what I say. And really, I treat them as subordinate conjunctions. I just lump them all together. And when we get in this says QV page 10 point whatever. When we get into syntax, I'll show you about that. They subordinate. And here's a list of them, a fairly complete list. As, after, before, although, because, if, while, until, since. Evidence of one working would be here after. After he ate, he slept. Well, if this were after lunch, he slept. After would be a preposition. But it's a relative pronoun here. And there's a word that's troubling me, the word how. I was thinking about that. I know how to sing. I guess that's a relative adverb. I know how to sing. I'm going to have to think about that. By the time we get to syntax, I'll deal with that again and explain a little bit more about that. I know to sing, no, I know how. I know how to sing. It all has to be there. So I think how is a kind of a special word. Then there are correlative adverbs. Correlative, well, these work as pairs, as and as. And an adjective goes in here. He is as strong as an ox. As and as. They work together to modify strong. How strong? As strong as. Very interesting. So that. He is so strong that he can lift that. So and that. These are correlative. They work together. There's that co. Interrogative. Now, those are ones they're conjunctive. They join things. Interrogative adverbs, they ask questions. I use police interrogation when I taught this, because kids usually know, oh yeah, interrogation, they ask you questions. Well, the interrogative adverbs, and you'll see, probably this should be boxed. You can see how funny it looks to write on a wet chalkboard. They ask questions, and there they are. How, when, where, why. Part of the bare necessities. I said memorize them. And then finally there are some that are exclamatory. They don't really, if in the story Little Red Riding Hood, when she says, Grandmama, how big your teeth are, speaking to the wolf, you know, how big your teeth are. Well, that's not a question. That's an exclamation. And so the word how there would be an exclamatory adverb. All right, I have one more little thing to show you about adverbs. I'll see if I can dry the board off, and then we'll do that, and then I'm going to get back to the chronological survey. So in just a moment, I'll be back with the last about adverbs.